Welcome back. So this is my last video for all the pretty cars. It is the part 2 of chapter 4. So here we go. If you remember from the last video, Alejandro was like, all right, we're done. Everything's done. John Gray's like, I've got nothing left now. So he's like, might as well but go back to the prison and get the cars because like they got John Grady's car when they left, but they didn't get Rollins and Blevins back. So he's like, I ain't letting that Mercedes sit there. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna go get it. So he goes back to the first jail they were at, and of course they're like, we're not just gonna give you the cars. And so he ends up having to take the captain like as his prisoner. So he's kidnapped this captain, but he gets the cars back, and he like ends up finding the guy. He just kind of like walking and was like, oh hey, you were the guy who paid to have Blevins killed. He's like, all right, you come with me too. So 3 cars, 3 men, 2 of them happen to be prisoners, but it's fine, And so he was like, okay, each of you in his car. He's got him taken, kidnapped. And he's like, all right, let's go. But that it wasn't that simple because this is all the pretty cars, and in all the pretty cars, every time something good happens, something bad happens too. It's literally just life. Like it's the good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. It's like a light switch on and off all the time. So, it wasn't that simple, of course. As they were leaving, it was like, bang, bang. These guys were like, I don't think so. You don't mess with us. And so there was like this whole shooting, this car chase. It was crazy. But they ended up getting free. So I was like, woohoo, that's my boy. Go John Grady. Anyways. And so they get free, and like just before they cross into Mexico, John Grady's like, okay, I can't take it from here, boys. Thanks for your help. Like, I don't need you. Like, I don't know. He's like, I don't really want you guys for anything. So he lets the prisoners go, and somehow, don't ask me how, but he takes all 3 cars into Texas. And he literally gets into Texas and finds out his dad died. I mean, hello. This is crazy. Every time something good happens, something bad always follows it. And so he's like, yeah, like I got the cars back. Good. In Texas, gonna make a new start. Oh, my dad's dead. That's cool too. He attends a funeral, really heartbroken, especially just because he spent the last days he ran away from home. So it's crazy. But that's what happens. Then John Gray's like, okay, I gotta find the car owner of Blevins like Mercedes. He's like, this boy was 16. There is no way he actually owned this car. Like maybe it was his stepdad's or like a family member's or like a friend's, or it wasn't his. So he's like looking, he's like looking for signs, like anybody lost a Mercedes. He's like looking, like meeting up with people. Nothing. Nobody knows about this Blevins kid. So he's like, what the heck? But of course, John Grady, our boy, doing something good, but it doesn't last. Or the good doesn't last, I should say. Because lo and behold, people will start complaining to the police. They're like, this boy stole this Mercedes. And he's like, are you serious? And they're like, yep. And so he has to go to court. We're like, oh my gosh. So, court day comes. He's in there. The judge is like, all right, tell us what happens. So he tells him the whole story about all the jails and all this stuff. And then he's like, yo, I'm just trying to find the owner of this car. Like, I'm trying to be a good person. Like, this is a Mercedes. Like, if it was some like trash car, like maybe I'd just let it be. But it's a Mercedes. Like, he's like, I'm really just trying to figure out the owner of this. I'm trying to do good. And so the judge is like, all right, that's fine. You can go. So it's like, yes, something good. Yes, awesome. And then good happens again, which is crazy. So he is like, let's go to the diner and celebrate. So he goes to the diner, or like the little restaurant, the little Panera. And so he's there like watching TV, and it's like, Jimmy Blevins, a preacher, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, hold up. That just said Jimmy Blevins. He's like, that was that boy's name. He's like, I wonder if there's like some connection, And so he like looks up online, and he's like, Jimmy Blevins. So he gets his address, goes to his house, and he's like, hey, is this your Mercedes? Is this your car? And he's like, who are you? No, that's not my car. What are you doing? And he's like, are you sure this isn't your car? Like, do you know, like, a little 16-year-old kid? He's skinny, like, dead now, but Jimmy Blevins, like, also his name, or that's what he went by. And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So, you know, he's like a preacher. He's a nice guy. He's like, are you just come in for dinner? Like, he's probably like, boy, you crazy. So, anyways, it wasn't the owner. And we actually never find out the owner because life is confusing and not always full of answers. We don't always get the answers to everything. So he doesn't end up finding the owner. And John Gray's like, dang, boy, like, are you serious? Like, I'm trying to do a good thing and it doesn't work out. Like, of course it doesn't. That basically just sums up his life. Nothing good. So then he's like, man, I've been in Texas for a little while and I've yet to go see Rollins. So he's like, all right. So he goes to see Rollins and they're just kind of like hanging out, you know, chilling. And they're like, yeah, we don't really have much in common anymore. I mean, Rollins is like, got a new job working at this car place, like management business, all this stuff. He's like doing good. He's like living his life in Texas, you know. And John Grady's still like, nah. Like, he's still a little whack from his trip to Mexico. Like, let's be honest. He really hasn't come back into, like, the reality. I mean, like, the trip to Mexico was almost like a dream and a nightmare all wrapped into one. So he's still kind of, like, in that zone. Especially, you know, missing his girl. So they're kind of like, all right, good trip. Nice talking to you. I'll probably never talk to you again. But you know what? That's not the end. Because that's kind of like bad news, and that kind of like counteracts some of the good news we've been having. But there's more bad news, because of course there is. This woman who had worked at his family's car lot for his whole life. I mean, like, until they sold it. And basically, like, helped raise him. Because, like, his mom is out in Cali, you know? Struggling actress. She died. Yeah, she died. He found out. So he went to the funeral. You know, it was a nice funeral. And then he drives off in this sunset. You know? Like, attends a funeral and then drives off in the sunset. And it's like, the end. And that's it. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else to the book. And I think this is symbolism, and it just proves our theme all along. Like, life, first of all, there's evil. There's always evil. Bad is always there, along with our good. And, like, it's honestly a rather depressing book, like, if you sit down and think about it. So, bad things are always happening to this poor kid. And, it's also just, like, life's confusing. Like, it's not always full of answers. We're not going to find out what happens to the car. The lovers are not going to end up together. He's not going to end up, like, with his dream job, living the, like, his dream life. Like, it doesn't happen. And we don't even find out what happens to him. I mean, he just kind of, like, drives off in the sunset, and that's it. So, that's it for these videos. I mean, that's the end of chapter 4. That's the end of the book. So, please like this video, and anytime you need, you know, just a refresher, go back and watch all these videos again. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed them. Bye!